period. On my black, brown, and indigenous. Gotta holler if you really feeling this. Gotta holler if you really real enough. Other rappers is delirious. Yeah, it's really that serious. Better holler if you really feeling me. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna live in abundance. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna. I gotta keep it 100. We gotta stop all the stunting. You know we coming from nothing. Yo, you talking about money, you bluffing. We gotta do something different. We gotta change how we live in. We gotta do better for women. We gotta do better for children. We gotta listen to victims, whether Jewish or Muslim or Christian. It doesn't matter your religion. You gotta stand against the system, or else you just another villain. How you just sitting there chilling?
Who want to live as a sovereign persons, sovereign nation. Our father of nation, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, we got the independence from British. Hindu and we ruled India 1,000 years before British occupation, 200 years. So in our blood, our father of nation taught us one thing. As per Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam 1400 said, you born freely. You have to say what you want to say with respect. And nation of Pakistan never tried to be ruled by outsiders. Just like Afghanistan, just like African and South Asians and the South Hispanic people, they just want to live like as a human. That's the crime we did from the day one. Pakistani nation never stand for any kind of occupation by anyone in the world. Occupation in Kashmir since 1947 by Indian 900,000 army, and they said killed 200,000 Kashmiri freedom fighters against the past resolution of United Nations, backed by why he don't want to do it, follow the UN resolutions, India, because they have the back of the big powers. Same like Israel. Think about, can Israel live one day without the help of this occupier mentality of the colonialism? No. So Pakistani nation always try to stand to promote anybody who promote peace and the dialogue-based solution of the conflicts, international conflicts especially. We have, from the day one, controlled by first 11 years, we were run by the new generation, new country, people who were the landlords, big lands. Any election, they win. Then some few educated people, they control from 1947 to 1958. That was time of the Cold War. In 1958, knowing, these all Western and American strategists, they are very good to know about you, your weaknesses, your beauty, your power. They're always afraid of the nations, small nations who just got independence from the colonialism, that they will not accept any kind of dictation.
Right.
So 1958, USA want to expand the whole things, whole agenda. So they changed the regime in Pakistan and put the first time army coup led by Mr. Ayub Khan, 1958.
Okay.
And then at the same time, there was one guy who was a very, very sharp, very intelligent, got the highest degree of the law from West, name was Z.A. Bhutto. He joined the government of dictator, years and years. Then he changed, he put his own party, People's Party, PPP, 1967-68. And then he became like a public guy. But in my point of view, as a Secretary General of Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, we have to know what's behind. So in my point of view, he was working for other things. So then he changed the whole politics. Mm-hmm. So when we kicked out the dictator of Ayub Khan and his other guy, Yahya Khan, and we lost our East Pakistan, which was the majority, and we did some mistakes as a younger and powerful brother, West Pakistan, and they have a lot of grievances against West Pakistan. And they got independence, now is a Bangladesh. But Bhutto, he played the big role. Why? Because Bengali is a very, very forceful for democratic system. Pakistan was run by mostly landlords, like Bhutto was a landlord, big landlord. But anyway, we got a constitution of Pakistan, 1973. We had never had a constitution before, since 1947. So that was credit goes to Bhutto and all opposition parties. So this is the little background that we were ruled by mostly the CIA-backed army dictator, because they want to use us against the Cold War as a CETO and CENTO organization member.
Is that the still plan for right now?
That was the time of 1958.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then 1979, when Russia make a big mistake and invaded in Afghanistan, saying that Afghani people called me. And Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, we never like this thing that somebody crossed the international border, accepted international border. We call it invasion. It's done by Russia in 1979. It's done by now in over there. There must be a reason.
Right.
In Ukraine, I'm talking about now. But now in Afghanistan, the first Islamic state, he came over there. And after 10 years war, in the meantime, CIA overthrow the Mr. Bhutto. Maybe they got whatever they want to got from this person. Maybe he worked for them. But he was a very intelligent person. People love him because he was a good orator. He studied in England. He spoke very good English. Anyway, so when he was hanged because he rigged the election, and army coup led by General Zia on 5th of July 1977, and after 2 years, Russia came to Afghanistan, because Pakistan is geographically is very important for the hot water to run the business whole year internationally. That's why the Pakistan near the Gwadar and near that kind of stuff. So we have a area which is good for to go to the send the ship to the everything to the west and east whole year. Otherwise, in winter the ships are very hard to go and travel. But that's a simple thing. It's a business thing.
Right.
So 1977 coup, it goes to 1988 when somebody said it's a CIA game. They blew the plane, C-130 helicopter, with the top commander of Pakistani army and ambassador of United States. They died.
Oh wow!
And Miss Bhutto, Benazir, younger, and she was exiled. She came down, and people said that she make a deal with the army which was over the CIA before, and the killer of his father. But they make a deal because they love the government.
Right.
So there's a background of a history that how the CIA wolfs nails in the Pakistani politics.
Now,
so then there was
to the public, this is new information. I don't think anyone in America knows this.
Yeah, that's public. That's a revolution. I mean, say coup by Zia, 1977. He used Islam, just like Bhutto used the socialism.
Yeah.
Bhutto. So he used Islam because Islam is a 99% Muslim. Doesn't matter you are communist, it's a free country. You can say whatever you want to say. There's a lot of tolerance. But after the Zias, as a government, he used Islam, and then he created one puppet who was in a trade and who was a victim of Zia Bhutto's policies. They lost a lot of money and a lot of business. So the Sharif family, Nawaz Sharif, who's wanted by the court, he's in London nowadays. So he was groomed in the army nursery in 1980s, Mr. Nawaz Sharif. So then he became a prime minister. And then 2 years later, Benazir Bhutto became a prime minister. So they have like 2 years. So you are prime minister, they're fighting each other. Then you maneuver the game, go against the prime minister, Benazir Bhutto. Then Benazir Bhutto go against the Nawaz Sharif It's just like a game.
Right.
And who suffer? Youth suffer. Future of the youth suffer. Economy suffer. And most of the member of the party of the Nawaz Sharif and the Benazir, especially her husband Asif Zardari, which is now leading the party. Okay, after the death of Benazir.
Okay.
So they are mostly corrupt people. They looted the money. They put the money in Swiss account, in London accounts, in American accounts. So CIA knows they're all bullshit. They're money looting, they're murdering, they're everything. They have the files.
Right.
So anyway, then the 1999 General Mission, there was the fourth coup, fourth martial law, 1958 to 1967-68, then 67-68 to the 1972, 3, then 1977 martial law to the 1988 army government, then General Pervez Musharraf. Pakistan USA Freedom Forum feel that Musharraf is one of the dirtiest and lowest level general and soldier in the all army book, in the history of the army book. This guy, he sold the humans. He sold the Dr. Afia Siddiqui, now serving in 86 years jail without nothing, which people called mockery with the US justice system. Dr. Afia Siddiqui, which was picked up in Pakistan by the CIA and FBI, whatever, and the Musharraf's goons in Karachi with the 3 kids. Her youngest son was died when they are arrested her. They are kidnapping her. And 2003 to 2008, there was no news of Dr. Afia Siddiqui. She was a Boston, educated girl in the Neuro, PhD. So this kind of stuff, he sold the people, Mr. Musharraf. He sold the ambassador of United Kabul in Pakistan to the CIA, Mullah Zaif. They brought to the Guantanamo Bay. So these are the heinous crimes done by, and then the missing people in Pakistan. Thousands of families still waiting for their loved ones where they're gone in the name of war of terror. So people call him Poodle of Bush, Musharraf, a poodle of CIA.
Okay.
He's in Dubai, wanted by the Pakistani courts. So then there was when he was ruling, and the Nawaz Sharif was outside, Benazir was outside, self-exiled. Condoleezza Rice and the diplomat of British, powerful diplomats, they forced and they asked the Benazir and Nawaz, 2 party leaders, that you have to agree to NRO, National Reconciliation Order, or whatever. It's just like a South African things. This NRO, National Reconciliation Order, regulation, whatever. So they said, okay, you will be, in my point of view, they said, okay, you will be in power because they are power hungry, Nawaz Sharif and Benazir. So they've signed the deal, which basically CIA what they want, like every other occupiers, that they want to keep their safely exit for the Musharraf, who was a puppet. Because after 1977, evolution in Iran, 1979, they have a bad reputation, United States, that they damn care about their puppets. I mean, Raza Shah Pahlavi, who was the king of the Iran that time, working for CIA. So they just want to show the world that we care about the people, our workers, our servants. So that NRO deal, they work after 2000, they give the whole blanket green light for the Mr. Musharraf's crimes. His goons, who was involved in Karachi, MQM, who was involved in, MQM is a fascist group in the first time in Pakistan, led by Altaf Hussain. He's in nowadays, and since 1990, in London as a UK citizen. And he was a terrorist, basically.
Oh, wow.
M5 and M16 working, using him to create unrest in one of the richest city of Karachi.
So you're saying this is the man that worked with Saddam Hussein?
Say again?
Just for clarity, you said this is the man that you said that worked with Saddam Hussein?
No, not Saddam, it's Musharraf.
Okay, got you.
He was Musharraf gave him the blanket You can kill anybody, you can loot anybody, you can rape anybody, nobody will say anything to you. Just to keep harass in Karachi, because Karachi is basically known from the day one as a city of the opposition. So Musharraf used this Altaf Hussain using as a linguistic thing, as a Urdu speaking, blah, blah, migrated people. Even they born in the independent country, but they call them Muhajir, like a migration.
Okay.
Stupid, you are not migrated. Your father may be migrated for the good cause.
Yeah.
So just I'm a migrated, but my son is not migrated.
Yes.
He's a US citizen.
Yes.
If I have a son. Disclosure, I don't have a son. Okay, no kid. So this is the whole story. So these, at this moment, the two parties, Asif Zardari and Nawaz Sharif, which is in London, controlling from London, like Altaf Hussain controlling Karachi from London, with the different faces. So these are the people at this moment, again, come to join the CIA again, I think, and go against the man whose name is Imran Khan, who took oath 25th of August 2018. And one thing is very clear, that we never have an honest person as a ruler. He was the first person, I think people claim, and I think he's honest. But be honest with you, he has no experience in politics, basically, because he was international star of the cricket. He married to one of the richest women of the British family, Jemima Smith. And now he got the two sons from Jemima. They divorced. He married maybe 2 times more. And this Imran Khan have a respect, because he stands for the openly against, as father of nation said, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, that we stand against any kind of occupation in Kashmir, in Palestine, in South Africa, in South Asia, anywhere in the world by any superpower.
Right.
We don't care.
Right.
So that's the crime of Mr. Imran Khan. I'm not saying that he's angel.
No.
He showed to the people in 2018 election that he has a good team for economics, which is lie. He said he has a good team, good for homework, blah, 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 blah. And then he done some childish thing in my point of view. The guy who was convicted or got the bad name from judges of Pakistan, he let him sit inside the meetings of the cabinet. And that guy has a Jahangir Tareen. He's the guy in 1990s with the Musharraf, I think one of the biggest beneficiary of the NGOs from the United Nations funds and United Nations things. He was some kind of professor. But now he joined the PTI after, I think, in 2000. He worked for the Imran Khan. He liked the Imran Khan. But when they come in a power, he tried to use inside trader for his business, for his something. And when he got caught, he go against the Imran Khan. Because Imran Khan, people said, you promised us the honest government.
Right.
Your own people is doing this shit. Like Mr. Aleem, now he's a leader of opposition in Punjab. Jahangir Tareen, yes, Jahangir Tareen and Aleem helped a lot. Party PTI, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Justice Party like. No doubt, Aleem Khan, they are the big property dealers and the agricultural land of Jahangir Tareen and the programs of NGOs. So these two names were very helpful for the Imran Khan in past. Now, when the government came and they come close to the government, they try to do the same shit to enjoy the government benefits against the people and then try to hide. Doing a crime is okay, but trying to hide, just like we. Crime we committed in the United States, in Iraq, killing the people, in Afghanistan people, killing them, kids, and the wedding parties by drones. That's the crime, yes. But there's a bigger crime when you try to hide. Thank God Julian Assange and WikiLeaks.
Right.
And Edward Snowden.
Right.
And Chelsea Manning.
Freedom, by the way.
Brave American citizen and the Australian citizen of the world who showed us the real face of United States government. And being a citizen of this country, living in this country, citizenship is nothing. When you're living in this country, this is your duty to think better for this country. And what's the better? Tell the truth. We are the only nation as a United States who was involved in torture, abduction, ghost flights in 2000, war on terror, kidnapping the people, killing them, using the Syrian government to torture Canadian citizens, using Musharraf to sell the people to the CIA, every human $5,000. And that's why the Musharraf and his goons, who was working with him as a military uniform, are politicians.
Right.
Chaudhry's of Gujarat, Altaf Hussain, MKM, PPP, Nawaz Sharif, Muslim League, PMLN. They are the whole people who make a deal with the United States, work for the United States, because United States promised them, we will never touch your money, looted money of Pakistan. And Pakistan at this moment is basically bankrupt. Easy for the colonial capitals to arm twist of Pakistan, because Pakistan has no money to pay their officials, to civil servants.
Right.
So this is the situation now. And at this moment, these all opposition parties on one side, they are the same who serve the CIA interest. He's the only one who take a stand that no, we're going to make our foreign policies independently. Because our army generals in past got a lot of bad name due to the killing their own citizens for US and for CIA and for the West. In Afghanistan, in game of the Afghanistan war on terror, Pakistan army, which is one of the best soldiers in the world, but sorry to say, our leadership, top 16 commanders, they are very low self-esteemed generals and politicians. That's the biggest problem. That's why I said Pakistan is a classic lesson for any nation who want to avoid not to go to bankrupt, who want to know how you can prosper and good for the future of the youth, and play the big role for the peace in the world.
Right.
Yes, at this moment, Pakistan, as per my Secretary General of Pakistan, USA Freedom Forum, what's happening in that area? India, who was the friend of the USSR long time and have an atomic power. In 1974, India did the 1974 atomic power. USA, because India was the USSR, I think in US, Washington was a little bit easy for us when we were creating the atomic bomb, which we did in 1999, I think.
Right.
So we are the atomic power too at this moment. But now India is coming close to USA as a puppet. I hope the Indian politician will learn the lesson from Pakistan. When you become a puppet of colonial mentality, you are nothing. You will lose everything. Yes, for some families, big families can make $1 trillion in banks in Switzerland. That was the reason is the London and American banks are prosperous. Because you know why? Because they have the money from outside.
Right.
Trillions of dollars at this moment in Switzerland account in England. I think England economy is too much have a benefit from the looted country who's deposited in London, UK, by the corrupt politicians and corrupt journalists and corrupt bureaucrats.
Well, I hate to cut you off, Comrade.
Same benefit when the Switzerland government try to pose that they are impartial and they make the money in Second World War.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate to cut you short, Comrade. I want to thank you so much for coming on here. For the last thought, it sounds like we have to build a hands-off Pakistan movement.
I think over here, Pakistani living abroad, we're trying our best to help and tell the world that we love peace in the world.
Right.
End the war in Ukraine at this moment. No occupation in Palestine. Israel want to live in this world. Jews people, they are innocent people, they're nice people. But the government and the people who's controlled by the Washington, are they control Washington Jews? I don't know. But that's not a way to live in this world. You have no good future for your youth, Jewish people, if you are occupier. Right. Same message to the India. Same message to anybody who is occupied anywhere in the world.
Exactly. I want to thank you so much, Comrade, for coming on here, and definitely love to have you back on another time. Thank you so much
one
for
good thing that I can share with you, that at this moment, thank God, there's no CIA-backed coup. It still matters in the parliament or in a courts. That's a good sign of future, in my opinion.
Okay. So they're in the course to be against the coup?
No, there's a free course. You have a problem as opposition, go to the court. You have a problem as a government, go to the court.
Go to the court.
But before army gun comes, by back of the CIA and the West.
Right.
And they control, there was no law, there's no courts, only one man rule like a martial law. Thank God at this moment. But this is a clear message from Pakistan USA Freedom Forum and the Pakistani from abroad. Army generals, you will already lost your all respect and honor as the name of Musharraf. Don't think again. Don't think again to come to as a army general, as a martial administrator. It's not good for the future of this country, future of the youth, future of the Muslims all over the world.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much, Comrade.
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for everybody. We need help for the democratic system in Pakistan.
Solidarity.
No war, no occupation. Release Dr. Rafi Siddiqui and Julian Assange.
Free him. Thank you so much.
And the Gitmo. Guantanamo Bay.
This is beautiful. Thank you so much.
No, but we have to say this thing. Release all African American from U.S. jail, 1.5 million, in the minor crimes.
Right.
Put the jail people who was the 6th January, who did with this constitutional process.
Right.
Who was really, really terrorist, who tried to control the constitutional process. 6th January 2021, Mr. Trump's followers. Now there's the name of the judge, the wife named Jane, I think Jane. She's involved. Supreme Court Judge Clarence Thomas' wife.
Yep, that's who she
was involved in a massacre and attack on the Capitol, January 6th.
Yep.
One of the dirtiest day and black day in the history of the United States.
Yep.
Because they tried to change the system, our way of life. That was the Bush said to the Taliban and the Osama bin Laden.
Right.
But basically, they did it on 6th of January.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Comrade, for coming on. Let's get you on another time.
I try to talk openly, frankly, clearly, because that's a service to my adopted mother named United States.
Yeah, you are very clear, Comrade. You were very clear. You have definitely taught a lot of people.
You're going to give me in trouble now.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm going to move on to my next guest, and I'm going to talk to you later, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Peace in the world. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Solidarity. What a great guy.
Sounded like it.
How's it